The apartheid ended in 1994. That's 24 years ago. And although I'm only 13 years old, the apartheid still affects me. My name is Brandy. I live in a township populated by 55,000 people, and over 98% of those are people of color. So by those statistics, I live amongst people who have lived through and experienced the apartheid. The apartheid was a government and social system where only white people had rights. The country was under a white minority rule, so white people had the power. The term apartheid was first introduced in 1948 during the electoral campaign by D.F. Mandela's National Party. Although racial segregation existed in South Africa for many decades beforehand, the National Party used apartheid ideology to have control over the economic and social order. The white people ruled the country and prevented people of color from having any rights at all whilst making it appear they did. So I guess some of us weren't alive during this time. Like me, for instance. We know some things about apartheid, but not everything. To find out more about what went on, I thought I needed to talk to people who were there and knew exactly what went on. So I talked to my teachers. First, I asked them questions about what they experienced. We spoke about their opinions of racial segregation and where the issues were. Everyone I spoke to said that people should not be defined by their skin color. It's not hard to come to that conclusion. People who are victims during the apartheid are not afraid to stand up now for what they believe in. But people are still mourning the loss of those they lost during this time. From what I've heard from my mom and at school, it was not fair. The apartheid segregated cultures and attacked people with their skin colors. Different cultures were abused like animals and subjected to horrific acts of violence simply for the color of their skin. They weren't treated fairly, humanely, or equally. They didn't have access to the same shops, the same schools, the same medical care. People were killing, discriminating, and hating each other for years also because of the skin color they had. In 1990, Nelson Mandela, the most famous anti-apartheid revolutionist, was released from Robben Island by political action of F.W. de Klerk. Action then began to bring down the apartheid and create a country where we all lived equally. Mandela and the ANC political party worked tirelessly to change South Africa from a white minority to a democracy. When Mandela became president in 1994, the damage of apartheid was addressed immediately. However, today in 2018, we can still see the damage. Apartheid ideology had been too long integrated into our culture. We all have human rights. Everyone here and everyone in the world. We all have the right to life, the right to liberty and freedom, the right to have control of your own body and medical decisions. But most importantly, we all have the right to live free of discrimination. Simple right. Simple rights we should all have. Well, during the apartheid, these were taken away from people of color. The right to make your own medical decisions and healthcare. Do we, 23 years after the end of apartheid, have that? It may look like it, but imagine this. Imagine a 13-year-old girl living in a township. The nearest clinic to you is almost 45 minutes to walk away. Longer if you must take your baby sister with you. Now imagine a spoon boiling water over you whilst cooking dinner for you and your family. How can you get to the clinic? Your skin burnt, the listeners are crying, no phone to call an ambulance, no car to drive to the clinic. But what do the government do to help us? Nothing. Myself and the other 55,000 people who live in Dunoon township are still a visible sign of the loss in their face. During minority rule, people were forcibly removed and placed into overcrowded townships. And here we are, still living in these conditions. 35,000 people are overpopulated Dunoon. But what has the government done about it? Nothing. There are small things every day that I notice, which reminds me that it used to take multiple generations to change the historic apartheid ideology in today's generations, until everyone in South Africa can be treated as equal, regardless of their own race and socio-economic standing. The apartheid ideology is still existing. My message to you is that each of us can make this world a better place. Let's challenge our history and look together as one.